The elevator. When the moving truck pulled into Handler's Village, Emily felt an inexplicable chill. The charming, ivy-covered brick apartment building stood tall, its arched windows reflecting the late afternoon sun. It was her fresh start, a quaint town where she could finally escape the chaos of city life and rebuild herself. Emily's apartment on the 4th floor was everything she had dreamed of. Polished hardwood floors, a small balcony with a view of the nearby forest, and a cozy kitchen. Her first night was uneventful. She unpacked, enjoyed a simple meal, and fell asleep to the gentle hum of crickets outside her window. The following morning, Emily grabbed her purse and keys, ready to explore Handler's Village. She stepped into the building's vintage elevator, a small space with brass buttons and an ornate mirror. She pressed the button for the lobby, humming a tune as the elevator descended. When the doors opened, the world tilted. Emily stepped out, expecting to see the quaint, warmly lit lobby. Instead, her surroundings were cold and stark. The lobby's cozy armchairs were gone, replaced by sterile white walls and glaring fluorescent lights. She looked down at herself and froze. Her reflection in a nearby window was not her own. She was taller, her features sharper, her hair jet black. Her clothes, a beige suit, were unfamiliar. Her hands trembled as she touched her face, her voice a stranger's as she whispered, "What's happening?" She stumbled back into the elevator, her breath hitching. Frantically, she pressed the button for the 4th floor. The doors closed, and for a moment, she felt a sense of relief. But when they opened again, her reflection had changed once more. She was now a wiry old man with deep-set wrinkles and a cane. "No, no, no, no," she said, backing against the mirrored wall of the elevator. The old man's voice came from her lips. "This isn't real. This can't be real." Panicking, she pressed every button on the panel, desperate to return to her apartment. Each time the elevator doors opened, she was someone else. A young woman with fiery red hair, a burly construction worker with tattoos, a child clutching a teddy bear. With each transformation, fragments of lives flooded her mind. Memories, emotions, relationships. It was as if she were living these lives in rapid flashes. A mother mourning her lost son. A soldier caught in the chaos of war. A pianist performing under bright stage lights. Finally, the elevator stopped on the 4th floor. Emily stepped out, her reflection back to normal. She sprinted to her apartment, slammed the door shut, and sank to the floor. For hours, she sat trembling, replaying the bizarre experience in her mind. "Just a nightmare," she whispered. "I'm overtired, that's all." But deep down, she knew it wasn't a dream. The next morning, Emily debated whether to leave her apartment. She avoided the elevator, taking the stairs instead. Handler's Village was peaceful and unassuming, its residents friendly and welcoming. Emily tried to push the previous day's events to the back of her mind. By evening, she felt foolish. Surely there was a logical explanation. Exhaustion, stress from the move. Determined to face her fear, she stepped into the elevator again. This time, the change came before the doors even opened. The moment the elevator jolted to a stop, Emily felt her body shift. She looked down and saw delicate hands adorned with rings. The reflection in the brass doors revealed a woman with striking blue eyes and a long braid. The flood of memories hit her like a tidal wave. She was Eleanor, a schoolteacher in the 1800s, desperate to escape a controlling husband. When the doors opened, Emily found herself standing in a cobblestone alley. Gas lamps flickered in the mist, and carriages clattered in the distance. "No," she whispered, "this isn't real." She stepped back into the elevator, frantically pressing the button for her apartment. The doors closed, and when they reopened, she was someone else. A man dressed in medieval armor, bloodied and bruised. The elevator kept pulling her through lives she had no memory of living. A jazz singer in the 1920s, a farmer during the Dust Bowl, a sailor lost at sea. The transformations began to take a toll. Each time she changed, she felt pieces of herself slipping away. Desperate for answers, Emily searched the building's history. The landlord, an elderly man named Mr. Greaves, hesitated when she asked about strange occurrences. "The elevator," he said, his voice low, "has been here since the building was constructed. They say it's cursed. People have disappeared, but no one knows why." Emily pressed him for more information, but he shook his head. "Leave it alone, miss. Some things are best left buried." Ignoring his warning, Emily delved deeper. She discovered that every tenant who had vanished shared a chilling commonality. They had all reported strange experiences with the elevator. Late one night, unable to resist the pull of the elevator, Emily stepped inside. This time she wasn't afraid. She needed to understand what was happening. As the elevator descended, Her reflection shifted again. She was now a young girl with pigtails, clutching a wooden doll. The doors opened to a sunlit meadow. Memories of carefree days flooded her mind, chasing butterflies, laughter, a warm embrace from her mother. "Who am I?" Emily whispered, tears streaming down her face. The elevator took her deeper into her past, each stop unraveling a new layer of her existence. She realized the people she had been weren't strangers. They were all her. Lives she had lived before. Finally, the elevator stopped. Emily's reflection was that of a woman in a simple tunic, her hair braided with wildflowers. The doors opened to a village she didn't recognize but instinctively knew. Her first life. She was home. As she stepped out, a voice echoed in her mind. "Once the first life is reached, the cycle ends." Emily turned to look back at the elevator, but it was gone. The village around her began to dissolve, her body fading like mist. And then she was nothing. The next tenant to move into Emily's apartment found it cozy and inviting. She heard rumors about the elevator but dismissed them as urban legends. Until one day, curiosity got the better of her. And then the cycle began again.